What's going on, guys? How I am Meatballs. Black Ops 7 Zombies predictions. Also, these are split up into both positive and negative predictions, but not into separate sections. We're kind of gonna switch on and off between positives and negatives. And as excited as I am for Black Ops 7 Zombies, and if you are too, hit that subscribe button, it doesn't mean that the whole game is gonna be rainbows and sunshines. There's obviously gonna be some stuff that's not good about it. Just like there is with Black Ops 3 Zombies, what I consider the best zombies game of all time. Hence why I mention that I will include some negative predictions. But let's jump into it with something positive. I believe all standard maps within Black Ops 7 Zombies will all follow in the footsteps of Terminus, Reckoning, Shattered Veil, and Citadel. Now, what I mean by this is I don't think there's going to be any smaller maps like the Tomb or Liberty Falls that are dedicated towards straight up kind of casual camel grinding types of gameplay. Now, I know the Tomb is kind of like a middleman map, but if you guys know me, I am not the biggest fan of the Tomb. Either way, without a doubt, maps like Terminus, Reckoning are much bigger and packed with good stuff. And in my opinion, Shattered Veil as well. And you could also consider Citadel because there are the 4 wonder weapons that are really sick. And I think the Black Ops 7 Zombies maps are going to follow in the footsteps of those types of maps because in this game, Black Ops 7 coming up, we have survival maps, which means they don't have to waste time creating a smaller scale type of map like the Tomb. They'll really have that dedicated period of time to get efficient work done and polish done for true Zombies maps, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 level, and maps like Terminus, Reckoning, etc. And then the survival maps, we believe, are just going to be subsections of those larger maps, kind of like Transit and Town. So I really do believe we're going to have some girthy, awesome maps in this game. Moving forward with another positive thing, we have survival maps will be plentiful and most likely fill the gaps on all content releases. So kind of bouncing off what I was just talking about, at every single season reloaded point or main season point where there will not be one of those big girthy zombie maps that I said I really think we're going to be getting in Black Ops 7 Zombies, I wholeheartedly believe we're going to have still a pretty substantial update for zombies because we'll have the survival maps. Survival maps are probably going to be their way to finally plug zombies dry spouts, meaning even in Black Ops 3 Zombies, the distance between Zetsubo no Shima releasing in April and Gorod Krovi releasing in July, it felt so frigging huge. Pause. Like, regardless if you like Zetsubo no Shima now, during that period of time, going from a map like Horizon Track to Zetsubo, it felt kind of slow. And especially now in today's world with the way we consume content and the maps, in a sense, still not being the same in every way, those dry periods are pretty damn painful. So now having survival gaps to fill those gaps, I had to listen back to the audio because I said survival gaps, but now having survival maps to fill those gaps between the bigger maps, Eminem over here, but it's going to be a good thing and it's going to really help the game to flourish and stay consistent. As you guys know, I am a huge believer that if Black Ops 4 Zombies release DLC content consistently throughout the game's life cycle, that a substantial amount of the hatred people gave the game would have been flushed out. Now, I'm not going to go into specifics on that again, but either way, I think without a doubt, in the 100 different ways I explained it to you, survival maps, they will probably be plentiful, and for that reason, it will be filling the gaps between the bigger maps, keeping us engaged and happy with Black Ops 7 throughout the entire season. Moving into the next thing, we're going to talk about a negative here, and if you guys missed my video talking all about mini bosses in Black Ops 7 Zombies and kind of what they should be doing with them, I'll try to link that in the corner of the screen somewhere, but it's one of my more recent videos. But either way, this negative section, just want to say, because something's negative doesn't mean it has to be, you know, oh, this is a big strike. Something could be a little bit more neutral but lean negative, which is kind of how I feel about this. But especially as time is going on and we keep seeing the same mini bosses over and over and over again, I had to have the first negative bullet point, as mini bosses will carry over once again into this game. And what I mean is we're probably going to see the Mangler again, the Disciple again, and the same old mini boss enemies. Now, I understand that they have also provided some newer enemies, and that's great, but in order to truly get what we're looking for, I really do think that we need those new mini boss enemies in Call of Duty Zombies. And that is one area where Black Ops 6 fell flat, despite it being a really good game. That was definitely one drawback, and I do believe Black Ops 7 will do it again, and then in the next game, whatever, Black Ops 8, that's when we'll probably start to see complete freshness. But hopefully I'm wrong. It would be amazing if we saw no returning bosses, and at the very least, very minimal returning bosses. And most importantly, this ties in with my next bullet point, which is mini bosses will not carry over from map to map. Meaning that if, just as an example, say they bring back the Tempest zombie from Cold War Zombies, because I think that's what's going to happen with the on-disc map, the transit type of map, right, that we're getting. I think the returning boss is going to be the Tempest, which is annoying to me, like I said many times. But say they do bring it back, I think what's going to happen is that they're only going to have mini bosses for maps, and that's it. Or for a specific map, and that's it. And if we do see that mini boss again in the game, it's going to either be in a crazy DLC 4 where we have tons of different enemies coming at us in a final boss fight, or it's going to probably be in an Outbreak style mode, right? But I think as far far as just traditional round-based zombies maps go, I feel like a lot of people have given the feedback, and I'm very adamant on this, that not only should we not have bosses carry over from game to game, but to even have bosses carry over within the same game from map to map is really irritating. And I think Black Ops 7 Zombies will finally stop that. Next thing up on the positive list is I think camos will be easier to obtain. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did not get Nebula yet in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but it was only because I was under the impersonation that it was significantly easier to get than it is. Like, it's not the hardest thing ever, but I don't like the intermittent kind of things that you have to do. Like, you have to continually go back to different weapons, and I don't know, I just wish that you're able to get one weapon done, move on to the next weapon, and then like it was, you know, once you have a whole class done, you unlock the weapon classes camo, and then once you have all the weapon classes camos done for all the weapons, you get your mastery camo. That truly makes it just so much less burdening and annoying, because you don't have to repeatedly go back into the game with a different weapon or the same weapon again in order to get another camo. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully there has been good feedback on that, and that will happen, and I think it will, that they modify the camo system in some kind of way. Next thing we're going to talk about here is a negative thing, and it's that wonder weapons will be reused again from prior experiences. Now, just like I talked about the bosses, the mini bosses from beforehand, I think that they're going to be bringing back wonder weapons once again, and that doesn't include the ray gun because that's like a staple zombies gun, right? But weapons like probably the Wonder Waff and who knows, maybe the Thunder Gun again, they're probably going to make their way back into this game. Now, as much as I do think that this is a negative point and that I want to see completely brand new wonder weapons like the Gorg effects, for example, great wonder weapon, and if you don't think it's great, then you have not used it properly and or have not upgraded it to a variant, which by the way, once you upgrade it to a variant, you can pack-a-punch it. A lot of people don't seem to know that, but either way, it's a really good wonder weapon. It's cool, it's effective, it does what it has to do. As much as I'd love to see stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, seeing the Aizen direct bows in Black Ops 7 in the Dark Ether would I'd probably pass out from excitement. But either way, I digress. I do think that wonder weapons will be reused again from prior experiences in this game, just like the mini bosses, just like we saw in Black Ops 7, despite me hoping it's not the case. And one thing about this, one kind of caveat, which is really very neutral, is that I think the Scorcher will make a return as the wonder weapon for our first map. Like, this map is supposed to be massive. We're gonna have a car that we ourselves, the players, can drive around. There's no more transit bus, right? It's not even gonna be transit in itself, but there's no more bus. So I really do think that another way of transportation is gonna be the Scorcher. Now, there's one side of me that says that this is incorrect for one simple reason. They're scared of out of bounds glitches, but I feel like they've kind of smoothed out a lot of potential ways that people getting out of the map could hurt the game. So that's probably not too much to worry about, but I do think the Scorcher will make a return in Black Ops 7 on disc. Next up, I think more ammo mods will appear in Black Ops 7 Zombies, including fireworks. Now, this could very quickly become a negative, and you could be saying, how could that possibly be a negative? Well, to be honest with you, having a full frigging screen of ammo mods is a little annoying, and it gets a little hard to keep track of in a way, kind of like the amount of perks in Black Ops 4 Zombies. But truthfully, at the end of the day, having more options, I think, is always better in some ways. But I don't know, again, in another way, it's just like there's too many things, and it almost pulls away from how effective one specific thing could be, in a way, if that makes sense. So really what I'm getting at here is that I do think that there's going to be more ammo mods in Black Ops 7 Zombies. I think they're going to probably cut Shatter Blast, and I have a feeling that Fireworks is going to make a return. We'll have to wait and see, though. Again, this is supposed to be as non-opinionated as possible, and this isn't a wish list video, so anyways, moving forward, kind of like on the same theme, I also think that we are going to be getting new perks in Black Ops 7 Zombies. Now, there's part of me that thinks, hey, Widow's Wand can make a return, but there's part of me that thinks that this game is already so easy, Black Ops 6 is already so easy, Cold War is already so easy, that Widow's Wand just truthfully does not fit. Like, I love Widow's Wand, it's one of my favorite perks ever. Winter's Wail was really cool too, but truthfully, when you think about it and consider everything, it does not fit into this current style of zombies, and it may even hurt gameplay in some ways. I mean, that could also be debated because of the super sprinters at the higher round, so maybe not, but either way, forget about returning perks. I genuinely think that there's going to be a new perk in Black Ops 7 Zombies, maybe on disc, maybe not on disc, but I have a feeling that right away on disc, they're going to show us a brand new perk. Also, another prediction, I think that pretty much everything we have across the board, and I'm going to kind of put this in the positive category because, well, you'll see. I think everything across the board in Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to pretty much directly transfer over to Black Ops 7 Zombies, meaning perks, augments, field upgrades, stuff like that. Well, maybe not field upgrades. We'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. Actually, no, I'll discuss that really quickly right now. This is another negative thing that I have, and it's that field upgrades are probably going to be coming back for Black Ops 7 Zombies. And as cool as field upgrades are, they were nowhere near as cool as the specialist weapons we got in Black Ops 4 Zombies and even in Black Ops 3 Zombies that directly added to the depth of each map. So that's a big negative for me that we get field upgrades back again. But if we get new ones on top of the ones we've been using day in and day out for years, that would definitely be helpful. But either way, them carrying over overall to me is slightly a negative. Getting back to what I was saying is, like, we're pretty much going to have everything carry over from Black Black Ops 6, Black Ops 7 is going to essentially be Black Ops 6 2 with some improvements across the board, with the main dazzling point of the game being that we're going to be having all these maps. We're going to have a lot of main maps, we're going to have a lot of survival maps, a lot of different ways or experiences to have fun on in the game. And I do think, like I said, that is overall good, because this means that they can't bring back, you know, PhD as a DLC perk, right? Everything we have with Black Ops 6 and enjoy about Black Ops 6 is going to be on disc with Black Ops 7. That's my prediction. And as such, they will only be building on what we have in Black Ops 7. And as I mentioned before, maybe they'll cut and remove some smaller things like certain ammo mods and either upgrade them or replace them with certain things. And all that ties directly with what I said. New perks coming to the game, my prediction, we'll see. Now, a kind of addition to that on the negative side is that I think since Black Ops 7 is going to be Black Ops 6 2, modern zombies mechanics will remain intact fully with little core gameplay changes. Now, like I said, I really did enjoy Black Ops 6, but a main selling point of a game like going from Black Ops 3 to Black Ops 4 is that there were some core changes. Sure, that negatively worked against the game, or it negatively worked for the game. People didn't enjoy those core changes, so it's a little unsafe to make core changes, or even think from Black Ops 4 over to Cold War, massive core changes, or even the best example lately is Cold War to Black Ops 6, improving on Cold War's core systems in every way possible. Like, that was an amazing change. But I think because the games are so close together and there's going to be carry forward in a lot of different ways, I think that there's a great chance that we don't get anything dazzling in terms of the core gameplay changes. Hopefully, we get some kind of system in which allows us to get rid of score streaks because we're in the Dark Ether, which I do overall think is possible, because I think Easter eggs are going to get, this is another positive thing, I think Easter eggs are going to get harder in this game. They already said that they're going to try to please hardcore players even more in this game. And then in turn, we may even get even stronger Easter egg rewards and high round rewards in this game. So there's a chance they change one core mechanic with the score streaks because of the fact that we're in the Dark Ether, but we'll have to wait and see. If anything, it could actually be worse, where score streaks remain, but it's only certain ones, and then it feels really weird. So am I hopeful that we have some mechanical changes in this game? Yes. Overall, I think for the most part, it is a slight negative that it's going to probably be the same mechanics as Black Ops 6 inside of now Black Ops 7 zombies. But it's just a prediction. We'll have to wait and see. And at the end of the day, Black Ops 6 did play very fun and did a great job across the board. So like I said, just because something's a negative doesn't mean, oh my god, game ruined. And again, these are just predictions, and yeah, just to retouch on some of the stuff I said in terms of positives when I was touching on that last point, is I do think Easter eggs are going to be getting harder in this game, just for the sheer fact that they specifically mentioned hardcore players in the Black Ops, or just overall Call of Duty community update back in August. And as such, I think because of the fact that they may make the game harder in some ways, regardless of how or where they make it harder, I think the rewards for the increased difficulty will be stronger. And that's something that a lot of people always look for is, you know, what's the reward for doing this Easter egg? And that we make it more gobblegums or something like that. Who knows? Or better skins. We'll have to wait and see. And since we're on that topic, let's talk about our next thing. Is I really do think we're going to earn more gobblegums in Black Ops 7 Zombies. This is obviously a positive thing. The earn rate on gobblegums in Black Ops 6 Zombies is absolutely ridiculous, atrocious, and to be honest with you, I don't think it's any different than Black Ops 3. I think we're just not realizing it, or just not realizing how bad BO3's earn rate was because of the fact that dashboarding was a thing. Like, I think they're equally as annoying. It's just that Black Ops 3 practically is very different because of the fact, again, that dashboarding does exist. So I think in some way they are going to buff the gobblegum earn rates just in general, that we just do earn more gobblegums, and or maybe if you do play higher rounds, you get slightly better chances at getting better gobblegums, or if you complete Easter eggs, maybe you get better gobblegums right off the rip for completing them. But I do think overall there's going to be a better gobblegum earn rate and more ways to earn gobblegum in Black Ops 7. Now, as a caveat to that, Newton's Cookbook, I have a full video talking about this on my channel. This is a negative thing. I do not believe Newton's Cookbook from Black Ops 3 Zombies will return in Black Ops 7 Zombies. It was an amazing system, an amazing feature in Black Ops 3, and is exactly what this community needs in order, and even Activision needs, in order to turn the gobblegum system from something that is really good and really cool into something that's amazing, used all the time, and people actually spend a lot of time and money on. Obviously, I'm not a fan of having to spend money on gobblegums. In fact, that this would help in some ways to iron that problem out for people who are already dedicated on not spending money, because they'd be able to trade crappy gobblegums for good ones, or just even good gobblegums for different good ones. But even at that point, there would be distills in which Activision can still make money off of, so there's no reason to not bring back Newton's Cookbook in Black Ops 7 Zombies. Like, it just makes perfect sense to bring back in my mind. But I think it's kind of harder, like, even, and listen, I'm not 100% sure on how this stuff works, but just say Kevin Drew wanted to bring back Newton's Cookbook. Listen, I'm sure he can pull some strings and make it happen, but having to explain that to maybe the higher ups at Activision, I can only imagine how something like that would go. Oh, you want to allow them to trade their bad gobblegums for good ones? How could you possibly do that? They won't buy the good ones. When in reality, it's quite the opposite. People would still be buying gobblegums at the same or better rates, or the money would be better because people would be buying distills. Like, there's a lot to it. either way, we're not going to get into the specifics, but either way, Newton's Cookbook not coming back would be a massive negative for this game. But the positive to that would be, and I think this is the most practical solution, is I think we're going to, again, get more Gobblegums and more ways to earn Gobblegums. Now, another negative that I have here is that double jumping will never make its way into zombies. Now, what I mean by this is in Black Ops 3 Zombies, we had the zero gravity with the Horizon Track where we were able to wall run and really take advantage of those multiplayer mechanics that we never thought we would see in zombies, right? And we even had swimming and Zetsubo, but I really don't think that they're going to incorporate that feature into zombies. Like, more than likely, it's not going to be core to the gameplay at all, and it would be only destined for certain areas. Like, for example, on a map like Reckoning, where we have kind of like the lower gravity area in the Pack-a-Punch room, that would be the only case in which we have kind of like the double wall jumping thing come into play. But in general, I think that they're going to just not use that mechanic. And to be honest with you, this is more so of a neutral thing, maybe slightly negative, but I think it's really cool that if a game does have, you know, really cool mechanics in another mode, that zombies would be able to utilize it in some kind of way, like BO3 did with the zero gravity into Horizon Track and the wall running and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see, but it would be cool to see it in the game. Like, just imagine some kind of side Easter egg where you have to like jump off one wall, jump on another, get on a little ramp, and I don't know, you do something there. It just, there are so many things, so many avenues opened up by just having that little mechanic implemented. Now, this actually goes, the next thing up here actually goes on the Gobblegum discussion that I forgot to mention. It's a positive. Shopping free returns as a Gobblegum. We heard rumors about it coming in Black Ops 6 Zombies. I'm pretty sure Kevin Drew may have even mentioned it by name out of his very mouth. I don't know why I said his very mouth, but there was a lot of talk about shopping free coming to Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it just never did. And my assumption is that they're going to save it for Black Ops 7 Zombies on disc. And in a way, I think they're kind of scared, or were scared, to release it with DLC 4 because of the carry forward for two reasons. One, they can market shopping free as a, you know, brand new Gobblegum in Black Ops 7. A lot of people love it, including myself, and will be really excited for it. But also, too, if we're carrying forward shopping frees, that on-disc Easter egg is going to be solved so much faster. But yeah, I think shopping free coming back would be a big positive, and I do think it will be finally making its return with BO7 on launch, or just BO7 in general. Well, none of these things really have to be on launch unless I specifically mention on launch, but like the Scorcher, though anything's possible, I do think BO7 will have shopping free on launch, and if it doesn't, I'd be willing to bet almost anything it comes in the post-launch cycle. Now, we have one more positive thing remaining, but before that, we have two negative things I want to go over. One of them is about perks, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, but if the wrong perks are on each map in Black Ops 7 Zombies, meaning let's say the on-disc map, right? Leaving certain perks off of this map could make for an extremely weird experience on that map and any other map in the game. I will give you an example. Going back to play the older maps in Black Ops 6 Zombies like Terminus, Liberty Falls, The Tomb, and not having double tap is kind of very annoying. And obviously that's just a product of double tap not being in the game until DLC 3 with Shattered Veil. But now that it's in the game and going back to play those maps without double tap, it just does feel different. It's not the biggest deal ever, but it's just strange, man. So going into Black Ops 7 Zombies, what I'm saying is that main perks like Jug, double tap, stamina, those should all be on every single map no matter what, right? And then, like, for example, Shattered Veil didn't have Vulturate on it, which was a little annoying, especially since Death Perception was on the map, but overall, it didn't make that big of a difference. Like, with the way they did things, everything kind of just worked out, meaning the Casimir Easter egg step, they gave you a free Casimir, you have the Ray-Gun Mark IIs, so you could upgrade your weapon you spawned in with, but you really don't need to because you have the Ray-Gun Mark IIs. So in that instance, Vulturate not being on that map was whatever, but they really got to make sure that they have those core perks ready to go on every single map, or it could make the feel very strange. Now, last negative thing before we get to the final thing in the whole video, which is the positive. This negative thing is there will not be a custom map maker. As much as I would love a custom map maker, and we're seeing tons of different games do custom map makers even on console, so there's no excuse for Call of Duty to not have a custom map maker for zombies. I do not believe Black Ops 7 will have a custom map maker. It makes so much sense because we're going to literally have a 2-year dry period with no main Call of Duty Zombies releases until like Black Ops 8 or whatever they call that game in 2028. So it would literally be game changing and amazing. But my prediction is that there will not be a custom map maker in this game, kind of hurting its longevity in a way. And the proof is in World at War Zombies. Maybe it's BO1. I haven't played customs on the older games, but I'm pretty sure it's World at War. I'm not even going to go to Black Ops 3. Everyone knows people still play Black Ops 3 Zombies, and then customs on that game are amazing. The pitfall to both custom zombies on World at War and Black Ops 3 is that it's PC only, but people literally still play World at War Zombies today. Not for the main maps, they play for the customs. And the main thing that I want to say here is I don't think we may ever have a custom map maker in COD Zombies for the sheer fact that they want to sell new and more games. However, if there was ever a time to do it, it would be now because there's a 2-year freaking gap between games. So we'll see. I pray this prediction is wrong. This is literally when it makes the most sense to ever never do it. But you have to remember that Activision's sole goal, it seems as of now, is to just try to continue to sell copies of Call of Duty year in and year out. And if you have people, and I'm not even saying this in a positive or negative way, obviously for us players, it's a negative thing. But the truth is, if you're a business and you want people to buy your next game, and putting a custom map maker on your previous game will stop people from buying your next game, are you going to put a custom map maker in your previous game? No, you're not. Now, the only caveat to this is that a lot of competition is doing custom map makers, so it's very possible that at some point it does happen. But again, as of now, I don't know if we're ready, so I'm going to say no. I pray I'm wrong. And of all predictions, I hope this one's wrong. Bringing us into the final prediction for this video, a positive and a small one, but I believe that any gums earned in BO6 Zombies will carry over to BO7 Zombies. And you're going to say, wait, that's already confirmed. Yes, it is. But the second part of this is throughout the entirety of the game's life cycle. That's right. I believe that even when Black Ops 7 is out, say this time next year, 1 year from now, and you want to play Citadel de More, and maybe you go to like round 30 and do the Easter egg, those gobblegums you earn in that game will not only be usable in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but will also carry over to Black Ops 7 Zombies and vice versa. Now, I may be really out on a limb here, and that may not happen, but I do think that there's going to be gum carry forward and gum carry backward, I guess you would say, across both games. And the sole purpose would be is that over this 2-year gap that we have, maybe you didn't have any gobblegums in BO6, but in BO7 you got some gobblegums, or maybe you didn't even own BO6, and then you bought BO7, then you can go back to BO6 and play with your gobblegums from BO7 and still enjoy the experiences, or make the experience easier for yourself if you want with gobblegums. But that is it. Those are, and there are so many different predictions I can give you, so many more, both positive and negative, but we're going to cut it there. Those are my Black Ops 7 Zombies predictions, presumably one day before Black Ops 7 Zombies gets first revealed to the world on September 8, 2025. If you did enjoy the video, drop it a thumbs up, as well as you make sure you are subscribed for more elite content like this. My throat is shot still from recording Reckoning Guides, and I will see you later.